Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 5 Tips and Tricks for Careers in Athletics. I am your host, Dr. Maury Mosfitz, with my all-time most favorite, most wonderful co-host, Jen Albanese. Hi, Jen.
Hello, Maury. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. What's going on?
So the greatest game on green. Like, what is the slogan? I'm not
Maury,
the golf guy.
Yeah, you're just ruining it. It's the best week in golf.
Best week in golf.
It just happened. We're like 2 weeks removed, but.
I like the slogan, the greatest game on green. I think that could be something that could adopt.
That could be baseball. That could be football. That could be soccer.
Yeah, but they're taking ownership on it. The greatest game on green,
All right, you should let the people at Augusta National know that. Maybe they'll take that slogan. And that's why Maury's
because you got the green jacket. Everything's green. It's green. It's green.
That's why Maury's in facilities, guys.
It's true.
Not in marketing.
I never did anything with marketing, so I throw my ideas out there. If they land, they land.
Sometimes, but yes, we have a good guest though today. We've got
perfect for Postmasters.
Yes, it is perfect. Jim Ironside, who's a friend of mine and knows my dad. So God, I hope he doesn't tell any of my father's stories, but no, that's not. But yes, it is a good post-masters conversation. I wore my masters today for everybody. But yes, very exciting masters. Did you watch?
I dabbled here and there as I was traveling and doing some stuff, but it's always amazing to see the competitions and to see, the hunt and, people get far ahead on the first day and you think, oh my God, and then they start losing it and you're like, oh, are they going to keep it?
6-shot lead and then he crumbled, but held on to it. But
it's really funny because I said I wasn't going to talk about the tennis team, but we were talking about the similarities between athletics and how important being a goldfish is, that whole expression, you got to just let it go. And there's certain sports that it becomes so critical, and golf or tennis, you just got to let that thing that happened go. And you saw that with Rory and him, he let it get to him for a little while. And then at the end, he just forgot everything else and just concentrated right on it. And, I think that's the great thing about being in the world of athletics or sports is that there's so many different parts to it and there's so many different things to consider. And it's not just about how good a player you are, how you manage things or how you do all these different things. And so many things are involved with just being so connected and attached to it. And then you start thinking about all the people that are involved, like the staff at Augusta, the television production, the caddy, it's just so many pieces are there.
Yeah. The level of event at the Masters, it's unbelievable. It's grown so much. I mean, the fact of like you said, just the television productions that they have for the Masters alone and the coverage and, all the different networks that are involved and, the merchandise side of it. And, we're going to talk with Jimmy about some of this stuff, but it's it's so interesting. There's so many pieces and the Masters it's like Disney World. It's funny. I heard someone say that when we were watching, the Masters and Disney World are very similar in how they portray themselves. It's this aura of going to this place that it's so incredible that you can't duplicate that feeling.
It's very interesting because it's run by Augusta and it's their thing. And just for that one period, it's not like it's going on all year. Disney goes on constantly.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they literally just put on this thing just for this one period in time.
1 week a year. Yep.
And it's so central to the golf world. And it's amazing that that's something that they do year in and year out. And I think one of the coolest things, and I geek out on, is just the traditions.
It's
the fact that you can only keep your green jacket for a year and there's only certain things, and that you get a replica of the trophy, but it has to be 40% of the size of the real trophy, and that there's the dinner and all these traditions and things that have made it into and that's what you're saying. That's what Disney
the aura,
is. It's the traditions and
it's not only for the traditions for the players, but it's also for the fans.
No, it's almost less for the players. It's almost more for the fans.
Right. And it's there's no phones. So you're completely completely disconnected. Like, I love seeing those pictures of like Rory's taking the putt on the 18th and nobody's taking a picture of it.
Right.
Everybody is fully in the moment watching it. And I think that is what sets that specific golf event apart from everything. And it sets it apart from all of their sports too.
But then it gets even crazier because then they come out with something that's like so specific for that year, like those gnomes this year has been like
somebody
all of a
just
sudden.
Give me a gnome. I just want the gnome, Maury. Somebody give me the gnome.
It's kind of funny because now you're talking about this like old school, with this very set in time thing that has become popular for right now, and they keep doing it, and it's so specific to sports and like entertainment and this whole like certain world of things. It's just kind of so fascinating. So I think it's going to be cool. And, you know, I'm sure Jim will share some things about like what makes golf specific out of the world of everything else too.
So different in sport. It really is. So,
but it'll be really cool to hear.
We could talk about the Masters.
We could go on forever.
Shout out to Rory. Congrats back to back. So excited for him.
And we'll have Jim after these messages.
Are you a loyal 5 Tips and Tricks podcast listener? If not, now is the time to start. Get all your info and fun content on the podcast by following us on all our social channels at @AthCareerPod. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast is a part of Athletic Career Consulting. Make sure to reach out to us. The one-stop shop for everything is our website, www.athcareer.com. Remember, follow and like us on @AthCareerPod, rate and review us, and get all your info at www.athcareer.com. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Maury, would you like to introduce our guest today?
Yes, today's guest grew up in Oneida, New York, graduating from Oneida High School, and went on to earn his professional golf management degree from SUNY Delhi in 2008. He was named the PGM Player of the Year in 2006. Coming out of school, he went no time getting to work, landing his first assistant golf professional role at Tayuga County Country Club. I didn't say that right, in 2009. Tayuga.
There you go.
With 3 years at Cannon Valley Country Club. It was during that stretch that he earned his first Central New York PGA Assistant Golf Professional of the Year award in 2012 and achieved full PGA membership in 2013. He went on to hold positions at Alburg Golf Links, Sadaquada Golf Course, and served as the New York Interim Tournament Director in 2019. The same year, he received the Horton Smith Award, now known as the PGA Professional Development Award, recognizing his contributions to education. In 2020, he joined,
Yahnundasis
Golf Club as a senior PGA Assistant Golf Professional and earned his second Central New York PGA Assistant Golf Professional of the Year award that same year. Most recently, in September 2025, he took on the brand new challenge as the head coach of the Utica University men's and women's golf team. Please welcome to the podcast, Jim Ironside. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you.
Jim.
Thanks
oh
for
my God,
me.
those names. The
it's
only reason I know.
It's all those like native indigenous people's names that really throw me off there.
Yeah. No, they're a mouthful. Yeah. You got Utica, Sadaquada, Yahnundasis.
Oh.
The only reason I know is because my father always says he goes to all those different clubs, and this is my connection with Jimmy is my father. So shout out to my dad for connecting us, and Jim might not want to have that reason why we know each other, but
your father's a good guy, so.
He is. He's a great one. We love him very much. So, but thank you again for being here. This will be
especially during this time of year where there's so much going on with golf, and you have a lot going on. So
I wore the Masters for everybody today. Did you guys like that?
You go.
I wore that today for everybody.
So we definitely appreciate it. And so with that, Jim, we'll get you going. What's your first tip or trick?
So, being a PGA professional, I was in the golf shop earlier today. We were a couple of other golf pros. We were talking about this, and I think the number one thing, anyone that follows us for a day in our life at work, is just being proactive. I think that's the biggest thing, is being able to recognize things that are coming before they even show up. Like be able to recognize that there's going to be a problem with on the tee sheet with slower groups, or knowing even when the driving range will be busy. So we got to get our guys down there and make sure we're good. We got plenty of range balls stocked up, and it's just the simple things on that. It's just being able, and that just comes with experience of being able to recognize, how to be proactive instead of be reactive, and that goes a long ways, I think, in this business. It's everyone's like, oh, you work in the golf business, you must play a lot of golf. That's far from the case.
That is a myth. That is a myth,
Yeah,
everyone.
that is a huge myth. I mean, even though some of us do play a lot of golf and we're great with balancing our time and that, but it's just depends on what your schedule looks like. But being proactive is the biggest thing I could say in our business, as what I would say is number one. It's just being able to be proactive and recognize when things may, when before the problem even arises, and even before it comes a problem, just
because
so it's taking care of it.
You're working towards the membership, right? Like you have to deal with what you think the membership's going to need and be ahead of it before they even come to you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Be able to just, and that's just, that kind of goes to one of my other tips and tricks is understanding, understanding your customer base and your membership, and
right,
and what they like, what they don't like. So that's one of my other ones down the line, but they all kind of tie in together.
Perfect. Well, we'll keep you going. Yeah, go ahead, Jen.
No, I was going to say the proactive thing, I think it's across all different areas of sport, but I think especially in golf, like there's so many things that you can anticipate, and to be able to anticipate those things only sets you apart. And then you're able to be more successful and be able to handle things that come up that you might not be prepared for if you have everything else in line. Like I always say, like, my dad and I always talk about, like in golf, the thing that's so unpredictable is weather. Everything is outdoors. Like you can't predict that. But if you're already prepared for anything else that's going to happen, like you can handle that because everything else is taken care of. So proactive is really good across all areas, I think. So that's a really good one.
Awesome. Okay, Jim, let's get to your number 2. What do you got next for us?
So number 2, and this kind of comes into just as you get further down, but I would say it's the contacts and the mentors that we develop in this business. I'm not where I am today without knowing the people that I've worked for and have them being mentors. It would be because and Jen knows, and from talking to her father, and him being in the golf business too, the golf business used to be such an old boys type of club. It was a lot of who you knew, and that is not so much the case now, but it kind of is. If you get set up on the right pipeline of who you've worked for, who you've been in contact with, it helps you out so much. Along with being able to show that you can do the work, and having those people to put you in line with other people, it makes a world of difference. And and goes with everything, I feel, and just being out in any sort of industry. It's a lot of who you know, but also who is, if you've done the hard work, and they'll go out and say, hey, they're the person for this is who you want. That really helps a lot, and even the members will recognize that too. So
I was going to say, people can have a lot of contacts and a lot of connections, but if they're meaningful and that you can actually utilize them both ways, like they can help you, but you can also help them. I think, even students today are like, let me just get as many contacts as I can get. Like, let me connect with as many people on LinkedIn as I can connect with, or do as many informational interviews as I can. But are those truly meaningful connections that will then help you moving forward, whether it's in your career? Like, you said, Jim, like help you get to that next step, help guide you on the path to, become that PGA professional or work at that golf course. Yeah. Like, and then in turn, how are you helping people like, oh, okay, this is the one that you want for your course, or this is the one we want for this job because I've worked with them and they've made those meaningful connections. So everybody says networking, and there's only been a few that have said like they need to be meaningful. And I think that's really important for people to understand. So.
Yeah, that, and especially when you got that mentor aspect of those contacts, and because those are the people that I feel that if they're a mentor, they believe in you, they know what skills you have, what skills you truly have, and they're the people that are willing to stick their neck out for you when it comes to those that are getting into this business, especially the golf business, taking that jump from all right, I'm going to start here, and then we're going to take up that next step. And especially it's those, and I always try to push the younger guys. It's, being here in the Northeast, we've got a short season. It's,
Right.
and yeah, like the winter this year in the Northeast was
brutal.
Was bad. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's like winter what like it used to be when we were kids. I mean, it was bad. So like I tell the assistant, like the younger guys that are coming out of college, they want to get in the golf business. All right, if you're up here working, you're going to work hard all summer, but you're not going to do what us guys that are further along in our careers, and we can also kind of take winter off.
Right.
Technically, we don't take winter off, but you guys, those young guys, you guys got to go south. You got to go to Florida.
Right.
Work and just work all the and continuously work, and that's how you get those new contacts. Like we have got a young guy, he's getting in the business, he's graduated school, he played college golf, he graduated 2 years ago, he worked for us in our outside at the Yahnundasis this past year. Now he caddied all winter down at Seminole Golf Club, or not nice. Seminole, medalist. So yeah, he spent all winter down there working in the business, learning from those guys, caddying, making contacts. So that really, that's what you got to do. It's just because it's the seasonal thing. It's going where you got to go where the golfers are.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, we're flying along. Number 3, what do you got?
So number 3, and this seems like it's a cliche one, but it's how I'm going to describe it. Doesn't make it cliche anymore, because within the PGA we get emails all the time on best practices, and I saw one this year and this past winter, and I was like, this makes perfect sense when we talk about attention to details. We stress that to our staff, attention to the details, and this is kind of ties into that being proactive one. It's understanding who your members are, like what they're wearing, what colors they prefer, what they like to buy. That's where the merchandising aspect comes in of the side of the business. It also becomes into the side of just understanding what our members are, our daily customers like, how, and we stress to it, especially on some members. We know, like, hey guys, especially the younger guys that work out front. Hey, we know this member needs a wet big towel. He needs some Gatorades in his cart. He needs Snickers. Just make sure it's done.
Right.
Every time. That way, it just becomes routine in that. And it's understanding, and it's just watching. Just watch what they do. What they like. They'll tell you then just from there, and then take it from there. And once you start doing that, and they don't expect, sometimes they're not expecting it on some people. I remember when I worked up at Alburg Golf Links, it's in Vermont. It was a small public facility, but I developed relationships with some people. I pay attention to what they're doing. They're not expecting it. So restaurants are not open. They didn't say a thing, but out I come, the morning group with Bloody Marys and screwdrivers for them, and they were not expecting it. But I knew I knew that's taking it makes that level of service just take it one step further. So to be able to grow that business and that relationship. So.
Yeah, I mean, what I think a lot of people don't realize is it's such a, like you said, a relationship business. It's about dialing into the pulse of who your clientele is, who your membership is, and through building relationships, through doing all these things. And I think a lot of people who are young in the business think it's about just being around golf. And it's more about the people in some ways than it is about the actual function of golf.
Yeah, it's 100%. I feel that when I learned that I could go to college for golf course management, I love to play golf. And, you see all the guys playing golf all the time and you go, that's awesome. But then once you really start to dive into it and you go, there's more to it than just playing golf. And there's so many different avenues you can go down. It's really, and it's a great business, but it's also a ton of work.
Right.
Probably spent 3 straight winters just working through the apprentice program of all the information and how, and I had a member describe it when we become a PGA professional. He's like, I was explaining all this stuff to him. He's like, wow, that's like getting your master's. I was like, yeah, when you become a PGA member, you're getting your master's degree, really. It's kind of how it boils down. I mean, all the extra work you have to do. So.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's good.
Okay.
Good
I think we're on number 4.
Yes, yeah. 4. We're on 4.
So number 4, and you hear about this, and you hear pros talk about this all the time, and anyone else, even in chefs, in the food, in the hospitality industry, hone your craft is kind of what I say is the tip. Meaning, you're a PGA professional, you should be a pretty good player, you should be a pretty good teacher, instructor, coach, you should be a pretty good merchandiser. Always paying attention to relevant trends. Keeping up, practicing your game, trying to stay as sharp as you possibly can. It is hard at times. Learning in watching, listening to podcasts and for teaching, watching other instructors, reading, and just, learning some new things of just trying to stay relevant. And also, but with a teacher in the playing side, I feel a lot of people give you a lot of respect if you're a good player. If you keep your game relatively good, they respect you as a teacher. But you still need to keep up on current things on the teaching side and instructing side of golf too. But that's when I say honing your craft. That's what it is. I mean, staying a master. And I know you guys didn't have it on my bio, but we also talk about it on my one thing that I do during the winter. About honing your craft, I am also an IBO basketball official, so always staying better.
There you go.
So it's another step in other athletics endeavor that I do. But we talk about the same thing of just watching as much of that and still learning on that. So that's some great advice that I could give on that. If it's the time that we get to hone our craft, it's got to be meaningful. You got to you got to be as efficient as possible. So
it's interesting because I think a chef is a good example, because I think a lot of people don't realize that golf is such an apprentice type industry that it really does. And like you said, making networks and your mentoring is that there's so many skills that you learn by working with other people and seeing the things that need to get done and building these skill sets. And it's, there's an art to it as much as there is a business side to it, and how you learn and pick up those skills. And I think a lot of people might think, well, I know how to play golf, I can go out there, I can do this. But really it's about putting in the hours of working with other people and developing that process that takes time, which is such a different industry than a lot of the rest of athletics. Like it's more formalized in a way, but also gives you this opportunity to really grow yourself in this kind of more, more open way, this more way to hey, I learned from this person who specializes in these things, and he helped me really get this pure sense of how to do it. And then I went off and got more training from this person. And that's not something you always get in the sports industry.
No, that's 100% on that, Maury. It's crazy for how some professionals are really good players and instructors. Some of them are outstanding tournament administrators, setting up events. Some guys, and then some are. We have one of our younger assistants at the Yahnundasis, he's wanting to go more down the golf shop merchandising side of the business. That interests him a little bit more. So it's, and but you got to be good at you got to have a little bit of everything. You got to be good at everything, but you can be specialized at just a couple of things. My side, I'm starting to get into the coaching side of things now, which I do enjoy. I do the junior golf side of stuff all at my club.
Oh, awesome! That's great.
And all and all the tournaments. I do a little bit of teaching, some other teaching too, but our director of golf, he does more of the teaching side of things, the business admin stuff, and then we all kind of everything else we kind of split duties and share those tasks.
Awesome.
That's good. Have you enjoyed doing the coaching side of things with Utica?
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's something I never even considered. It had been brought up, it mentioned to me a couple of years ago. One of the previous golf coaches mentions like, hey, he was kind of like the secondary coach for the golf team. He was he was the women's hockey coach at the time. He said, this is back when Utica University was looking at possibly going Division I for hockey. So he's like, might need a different, I'm not going to be able to coach anymore. So
I can't do both.
Yeah, exactly. The hockey stepping up to that level is going to be more strenuous and more involved in and it kind of popped up on my radar, and then it didn't happen with Utica, with them moving up. So, and I was just like, okay, fine. And then I got the current coach that they had, he stepped away. He had other obligations to attend to. So, and they approached I guess they had gotten word and the new athletic director, she had heard that I might be a possible interest to it. And and kind of talked it over with our director of golf, just because I'm working full time at the club. And this is but the great thing is Utica, their men's and women's teams, their home golf course is the Yahnundasis.
Yeah, so that works out perfect.
It works very well, considering that they have to come to me for practice each day instead of me having to go chase them down.
Right.
It's a great connection too for the club, so it's really
yes. It's definitely, they had already been that'd been their established home club, but now it kind of strengthens the connection a little bit, having since I'm there with the university.
That's awesome. Great. All right, my big one here. So, Jim, what do you know now that you wish you knew then? So what do you know now at this point that you wish you knew when you first started?
So I guess the best thing I could say is I didn't realize when I started in this business of how many different avenues of things in the business world this getting into the golf business was going to open up for me. It's crazy. It's like I've gotten some other winter side jobs through members and things like that. And they go, well, we know, he's like, no, I want this guy to come work at my multi-million-dollar business to make sure, because he'll make sure things, the building gets locked up at night correctly. We don't have to worry about that. We can make sure he's a good manager. He can just manage a small team on a small side project for us, things like that. And then just who you meet, especially, I don't know, Jen, have you ever been to the PGA merchandise show with your father? So you have been, and it's wild how many different people you meet there.
Insane.
And it's, you see people you haven't seen in 10 years when you go down there. It's the best. I mean, it's like, it's the biggest time you could ever just go and nerd out on golf things and the merchandise. Yes. So that's how many people, so many different industry professionals are there, and it's crazy of how involved, and you're standing there talking to somebody else, and a CEO of another company stops in because they know that person. You get introduced to them, so it's just, you can go down such a deep rabbit hole of how many different people you'll meet in this business.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad says that all the time. Like, there's so many connections that you have. And like, even when you say the different avenues within golf, like when I was younger, even when my dad said he was going to do merchandising, I didn't even know that was a part of it. And obviously that's just because I was younger, but like, there's so many ways to be able to get into it where it's not so much, oh, you got to be able to play golf to be working in golf, you know? So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a neat business. It's it's getting, I would say it's a lot easier to get into this industry now than it used to be. Just like I said, it used to be such an old boys type of club, but in a way it still is, but it's not. It's because there's so many different avenues now in the golf business. You know, if you still could be a PGA professional and have your job title is something that's not the traditional, what we call a green grass professional at the country club.
Right.
No.
That's awesome.
Jim, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it, and good luck with Utica and the end of the season here. So look forward to hearing some good things.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Off tomorrow morning, we're off to conference championships in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. So.
Awesome. We'll be watching and sending you all of our luck, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for doing this. This was great.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Make sure you're following us on all of your social platforms at Ath Career Pod and listening on your podcast platforms. And new episodes drop every Tuesday. So thanks everybody.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
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 If you like the 5 Tips and Tricks podcast, make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. You can rate and review us, including questions that may be answered on future episodes. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast for careers in athletics is part of Athletic Career Consulting. Check us out at www.athcareer.com. Don't forget to follow and like us on your top social media platforms.